The entire history of the United States colonial America. Welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving deep into the rich tapestry of the United States history. Starting from the very beginning, pre-colonial America. So buckle up. We explore the fascinating world of Native American civilizations before European contact. Before 1492, the Americas were home to an estimated 60 million indigenous people. That's right. A diverse array of cultures, languages, and societies thrived across the continent. Let's take a closer look at some of these remarkable civilities. First up, we have the Aztecs and Mayans. These advanced civilizations were known for their impressive architectural feats, complex social structures, and rich traditions. The Aztecs, located in what is now Mexico, built grand cities like Tenochtitlan, which was larger than many contemporary European cities. Then there were the Mississippian cultures, known for their mound building and trade networks. One of the most notable sites is Cahokia, located near modern-day St. Louis. At its peak, Cahokia was a bustling urban center with a population that rivaled that of London during the Middle Ages. Across the continent, countless tribes flourished, each with unique languages, customs, and ways of life. From the nomadic plains tribes who followed bison herds to the coastal communities that thrived on fishing and trade, the diversity was astounding. The ingenuity of these civilizations is evident in their art, tools, and agricultural practices. They cultivated crops like maize, beans, and squash, often referred to as the Three Sisters, which form the backbone of their diets. So, as we set the stage for the arrival of Europeans in 1492, let's remember that this land was not a blank slate, but a vibrant tapestry woven from the stories and cultures of its indigenous peoples. European colonization 1449 to 1776. It all began in 1492 when Christopher Columbus arrived in the Americas. While he is often credited with discovering the New World, this event had devastating consequences for native populations. Diseases like smallpox decimated communities, and European colonization led to widespread displacement and violence. Fast forward to 1607, and we see the establishment of Jamestown, the first permanent English settlement in North America. Founded by the Virginia Company, Jamestown faced numerous challenges, including harsh winters and conflicts with indigenous tribes. But despite these hurdles, it marked the beginning of English colonization. Then in 1620, a group of English Puritans known as the Pilgrims set sail on the Mayflower, seeking religious freedom. They landed at Plymouth Rock in present-day Massachusetts. Here, they established the Mayflower Compact, an early form of self-governance that laid the groundwork for democratic principles in America. However, this era also saw the troubling growth of slavery in the colonies. In 1619, the first enslaved Africans arrived in Virginia, marking the beginning of a brutal system that would shape American society for centuries. As plantations expanded, so did the demand for enslaved labor, leading to horrific injustices that still resonate today. Fast forward to 1754, and tensions escalated with the French and Indian War. This conflict between Britain and France over territory and North America drew in various Native American tribes and ended in British victory in 1763. However, The war left Britain deeply in debt, prompting them to impose taxes on the colonies. These taxes sparked outrage among colonists who felt they were being unfairly treated without representation, leading to cries of no taxation without representation. The seeds of rebellion were being sown as colonists began to unite against British rule. As we approach the year 1776, tensions are rising, setting the stage for a revolution that will change the course of history. The story of European colonization is one of ambition, struggle, and profound consequences for both settlers and indigenous peoples. The American Revolution, founding 1776 to 1789, it all began on July 4, 1776, when Thomas Jefferson drafted the Declaration of Independence. This groundbreaking document was not just a formal break from Britain. It was a bold statement of Enlightenment ideals, emphasizing individual rights, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Jefferson famously declared that governments derive their power from the consent of the governed, a revolutionary concept. Fast forward to 1781. And we reach a turning point in the Revolutionary War. The decisive victory at the Battle of Yorktown marked the end of major fighting. With General Cornwallis's surrender, the British defeat signaled that the colonies were on the brink of independence. But the fight for freedom was far from over. In 1787, a tremendous gathering occurred in Philadelphia for the Constitutional Convention. Amidst the elegance and openness of the early 19th century Pennsylvania Convention, the task of crafting a new framework for government became the major focus. Harnessing the essence of intricacies, the fierce contest between the supporters of a robust central government and the anti-federalists emerged. Their viewpoints on individual liberties differed significantly, leading to a heated debate. Over long drawn-out discussions, a collective agreement was reached, resulting in the impressive and groundbreaking creation known as the U.S. Constitution. As a cornerstone of democracy, the Constitution played a pivotal role in shaping Americans' political landscape and has continued to influence the direction of society ever since. Finally, in 1789, George Washington was inaugurated as the first President of the United States of America. His leadership set crucial precedents for the office and helped unify a fledgling nation. Washington's presidency was marked by challenges, including establishing a functioning government and navigating foreign relations. The years between 1776 and 1789 were filled with struggle, triumph, and foundational changes that shaped the United States. The ideals set forth in the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution continue to resonate. Today, westward expansion, Civil War 1800 to 1865, it all began with the Louisiana Purchase in 1803, which doubled the size of the United States overnight. President Thomas Jefferson saw this vast expanse of land as an opportunity for growth and exploration. But this expansion came at a cost, as it set the stage for conflicts over land and resources. With the idea of manifest destiny, the belief that Americans were destined to expand across the continent, pioneers moved westward, often at the expense of Native American populations. The Trail of Tears, a tragic consequence of this expansion, saw thousands of Native Americans forcibly removed from their ancestral lands, leading to immense suffering and loss. the quest for territory didn't stop there. The Mexican-American War from 1846 to 1848 further fueled the expansionist spirit. Following a fierce conflict, the U.S. acquired vast territories, including present-day California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. This victory intensified debates over slavery and its expansion into new territories. By 1861, tensions between the North and South reached a boiling point, leading to the outbreak of the Civil War. The central issue, slavery. The Southern states, reliant on slave labor for their economy, clashed with Northern states that were increasingly opposed to the institution. President Abraham Lincoln emerged as a key figure during this tumultuous time. In 1863, he issued the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring that all enslaved people in Confederate-held territory were to be set free. This bold move not only aimed to weaken the Confederacy, but also redefine the purpose of the war to include the fight for freedom. The Civil War raged on until 1865, resulting in significant loss of life and deep societal divisions. Ultimately, the Union emerged victorious, but the nation was left to grapple with the consequences of war and the challenge of rebuilding. The years between 1800 and 1865 were transformative, filled with both ambition and tragedy. The ideals of manifest destiny propelled the nation forward, while the Civil War forced America to confront its deepest moral failures. Industrialization to modern America 1865 to 2025. Let's kick things off with the Transcontinental Railroad, completed in 1869. This monumental project revolutionized trade and migration, connecting the east and west coasts and allowing goods and people to move across the country like never before. As the country expanded, we entered the Gilded Age, a time of rapid industrial growth and stark economic inequality. Enter the robber barons, figures like John D. Rockefeller and Andrew Carnegie, who amassed great fortunes while laborers fought for fair wages and working conditions. The era was marked by significant labor strikes as workers organized to demand their rights. Fast forward to 1898, when the Spanish-American War catapulted the U.S. onto the global stage. With a decisive victory, America emerged as a world power, expanding its influence into territories like Puerto Rico, Guam, and the Philippines. World Wars and Superpower Status 1914 to 1945. Next up is World War I. The U.S. entered the conflict in 1917, contributing to the Allied victory and emerging as a financial leader in the post-war world. The war reshaped international relations and set the stage for future conflicts. But just as America was rising, it faced a monumental challenge: the Great Depression of 1929. The stock market crash devastated the economy, leading to widespread unemployment and hardship. President Franklin D. Roosevelt's New Deal sought to revive the nation through government intervention and social programs. Then came World War II, which began for the U.S. After the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941, the nation rallied together, and by 1945, it emerged victorious, having developed atomic bombs that changed warfare forever. The aftermath solidified America's status as a superpower. Cold War and Civil Rights 1945 to 1991. The post-war years ushered in the Cold War, a tense standoff between the US and the Soviet Union. The 1950s and 60s were marked by the Red Scare, fears of communism, and an intense space race, culminating in NASA's moon landing in 1969. Simultaneously, America grappled with its own internal struggles during the civil rights movement. Leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X fought tirelessly for desegregation and equality, inspiring generations to stand up against injustice. The Vietnam War 1955 to 1975 ignited fierce protests across the nation, giving rise to a counterculture that challenged traditional values and called for peace. In the 1980s, we saw Reaganomics, aimed at revitalizing the economy through tax cuts and deregulation. This decade also witnessed a historic moment, the fall of the Berlin Wall in 1989, signaling an end to Cold War tensions. Modern America 1991 to 2025. The 1990s brought a tech boom. Companies like Microsoft, Apple, and Amazon revolutionized how we live and work, setting the stage for a digital era. But with progress comes challenges. The tragic events of September 11, 2001, led to a global war on terror and significant changes in domestic policy, including the controversial Patriot Act. In 2008, America faced another crisis, the financial crisis, driven by a housing bubble that resulted in widespread economic turmoil known as the Great Recession. Now in the 2020s, we are navigating a pandemic that has reshaped society alongside increasing political polarization and an AI revolution that promises to change our future once again. From industrialization to modern challenges, America's journey has been anything but dull. Thank you for joining us on this whirlwind tour through history. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more engaging content. What part of this era resonates with you? Let us know in the comments below. Until next time, keep exploring.